Hi guys! So on this edition of Meka Makes, we're going to be taking this 2008 Ford Fusion and we're replacing the interior handle on the rear driver's side door. So this is actually my daughter's car, and part of the problem that she was having, she'd have people in the back seat and they can't get out. So this is definitely something that you can replace on your own. You don't have to take it to your mechanic. Grab your tool belt, we're headed to the garage. Alright guys, so for today's project, you are going to need the 9/32 socket. You will also need the Torx head. This is the T20. And a flathead screwdriver. Now, for this particular project, you can use the handheld tool for this, but I'm actually going to be using my drill. Alright guys, so you can see this is the original handle here on the Ford Fusion. Interestingly enough, this is the same handle that's used on the Mercury Mariner. Now, this handle is needing to be replaced on both lines of cars. So after a certain amount of time, they just need to be replaced. We're going to be popping out the screw that's here. There's also a screw here, as well as the screw here on the door. So I'm going to take you through that now. Alright, so on this part, this particular plate cover actually has a long tongue right here at the bottom of the plate cover, and then it's got short tongues here and here along the top, so it'll be easier if you use your tool up towards the top. And there it is, and we'll simply pop it out. Now, if you have a problem getting your flathead screwdriver in there, you can always feel free to try and use like a box cutter because it's really narrow and it's able to get in that little space. So I'm just gonna wiggle this out, and there it is, right there. Alright, so now I'm going to be using my Torx head. Alright, so since this is a Torx head screw as well, I'm just going to pop over here and get this taken out as well. Alright, so for our last and final screw, we're going to put in our 9/32 socket. Alright, so now we're ready to pop the face of the door off. For this, we'll be using our flathead screwdriver. You can see that we've got the electrical components that are coming into the locking mechanism that's on the inside of the door. So we're just going to pop this out. Alright guys, so we got the panel off, but I wanted to point something out to you. There may be an instance where not all of these come out, with the door, so we'll need to simply remove them using a flathead screwdriver. Alright guys, so it's really important to make sure that you get those back into the door panel. It's essential for locking the door panel back onto the door itself. Alright guys, so we're ready for the next step. We'll just simply be removing the old handle, and for this we need the 5/16 socket head. So for this part right here, you're going to want to simply pop this out. You're gonna pull it towards you. And once you do that, you will want to make sure that the handle is in the lock position. And once you do that, it exposes the whole head of the mechanism. So we're just gonna pull that out, just like that. Now we're ready to install the new one. All right, so here I've got the new part. And I'm gonna put the head of the mechanism in there. And I'm gonna put the lock on it as well. All right. All right, so we've got the new handle in. Now I'm ready to put on the door panel. Okay, so for this part, I'm simply gonna engage the electrical power to it. So if you run into this issue right here where this part simply won't fit back down in there, then part of the issue could be there's actually this notch right here. This notch actually fits just below this ledge. So you'll want to tuck the tip of it in first and then snap everything else back into place. All right guys, so all the screws have been placed back in the door. Nothing left but the screw cover. You will want to start with the long end of the screw cover. You'll place that in first. Push it in all the way and snap it into place. Alright guys, so on today's episode, we took this 2008 Ford Fusion and we changed out the driver's side rear interior door handle. I did this first by loosening up the screws that were here inside the handle and in the door frame. Once we removed the handle, so we unplugged the electrical component that was connected here to the window control. Once we did that, we completely removed the entire panel. We replaced the old handle with the brand new one. Then we plugged back in the electrical component. We put the door back on and simply place the screws back in place. Remember, this is something that you could do at home. You don't have to take it to a mechanic for this. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel here on Meka Makes.